Pre-ordering is the act of purchasing a product before it is released, most commonly with video games and books. But it's 2023, I don't know what the fuck this is, and I got beef with video games, so we're gonna talk about those. I'm not sure when retail pre-orders became a thing, try to Google it, it's impossible, but pre-orders for video games seem to begin as early as the 80s. The reason to pre-order something was to ensure the consumer could get a copy of the game. If a game was popular, there was a chance retailers wouldn't have enough stock for the demand, making it really difficult to get a copy. Pre-orders prevented this situation. Pre-orders also helped retailers by providing them knowledge on how many copies to order rather than guessing, and they helped publishers understand how many copies to make. It was a win-win-win. It was wins all around. It was a fantastic idea. Whoever first came up with the idea of pre-orders deserves a CEO position where they can make a shitload of money, steer a company with their innovative mind, and eventually OD of cocaine and Xanax in a jacuzzi with at least 3 high-class prostitutes. The dream. Pre-ordering games was great. And now, it's not. Pre-orders for video games are not necessary anymore, because every new game is available digitally, meaning there is essentially an infinite stock. The consumer no longer needs to be concerned about not getting a copy. If you are in a situation where you don't have the internet, your mom won't let you use her credit card, or some other reason you're unable to purchase from a digital marketplace, then I can see why you would want a physical copy. And even then, the vast majority of sales are digital, so it's not likely the retailers will run out. But I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and there's only one game retailer, and I don't have a credit card, and I have infinite money at the moment, but it will disappear before the game comes out, and I don't have internet because it's the spawn of the devil. Yeah, okay. In very specific situations, you might want to pre-order a physical copy, but you are not able to watch this video anyway. So why do companies still push pre-orders? Well, money. Money is the reason. A pre-order counts towards the day 1 sales, or day of release sales, which is the earliest the publisher and or developer can make money on the product. Money now is better than money later, so the goal is to get the money as early as possible. Plus, most people pre-order games before any reviews come out, especially with review embargoes becoming increasingly common, and a consumer is not likely to read or watch a review of something they have already been convinced of purchasing. A big fucking problem that most people don't seem to see is that pre-ordering a digital game does nothing to benefit the consumer. There's no rational reason why you should pre-order a digital copy of a game, yet many people still do. And most arguments I've seen against pre-orders blame the companies. But it's not the company's fault. It's yours. And mine. And everyone else's. The fault lies with the consumer. Since there is no rational reason to pre-order games anymore, game companies try to entice the consumer with bonuses. These bonuses include phantasmalastical things like a digital booklet you'll never read, a silly little hat for your favorite character, or a weapon that doesn't look like a weapon. Oh, how fun! Basically, these bonuses are things thrown into the game that require very little time and resources from the developer to make. There are cases where a discount or discounted extended content is included with a pre-order, but it is exceedingly rare, and I have not seen anything like that from a AAA publisher in a very, very long time. Bonuses are not the only method publishers use to get people to commit early. The most effective method is playing off emotions. Emotions are essentially the opposite of rationale, and that is why companies prey off them. The two emotional states these companies focus on are hype and FOMO. Hype is excitement about something. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very good thing. But the way it's used to manipulate consumers is a bad thing. I see it as there are 2 kinds of hype, pre-hype and post-hype. Post-hype is that exhilaration you feel when your best boy or girl does their special move and punches the bad guy in your favorite anime, or your sports football team hits a grand slam or whatever. It's warranted, it's earned. It's an excitement derived from an event or experience you are having and after. Then there's pre-hype. Pre-hype is that feeling you get before an event or before opening a pack of trading cards. It's excitement from anticipation, the expectation of something great happening. Pre-hype is unearned. This is what the marketing teams of these publishers target. The marketing campaigns and events leading up to the release of a game are meant to excite the consumers, feed their hype, so they buy the game as soon as it's available, or preferably earlier. They want you to feel like you need to play this game as soon as possible. Just look at the Halo 3 Believe campaign. It was incredible. It played into nostalgia, the brutality, and the beauty of the Halo game so well that everyone was hyped about this game, even if you had never played Halo before. and it didn't even show gameplay. The Believe campaign is still the best marketing campaign I've ever seen. Was it emotionally manipulative? Yes, absolutely. That's why it was so effective. If you haven't seen the Believe marketing campaign for Halo 3, look that shit up. It's art. And you bet your ass it had me clamoring to play Halo 3 on release. Speaking of on release, let's talk about FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. As in, everyone is doing the thing, but you don't have access to the thing, and it makes you feel worthless, and no one will ever want to talk to you again because you're not in on the thing. FOMO is stupid. It's just envy. Companies take advantage of FOMO to get the consumer to feel bad if they don't buy the product. They want you to feel like you're being left in the dust if you don't buy it immediately. Even if it's a game sold based off its multiplayer and all your friends pre-ordered it because they're bad with money, you can wait for them to tell you if it's worth it or not. Reviews exist for a reason. You can buy a game day one after reading and watching reviews on it. What is the benefit of playing a game the instant it comes out? If it's your career to play games immediately, as in you're a reviewer or a streamer or something, then it makes sense. However, even then you would probably get a copy for free. The fact is, you don't know a game is going to be good or not until it's released. In the modern age of gaming, we have game patches. These are updates to a game that are normally downloaded automatically via the internet and fix bugs or rework certain mechanics in the game.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Similar to pre-orders, patches aren't a bad thing, but are utilized in a scummy way. Too often do I see large publishers like EA, Activision, Bethesda, Ubisoft, yeah, I'm name dropping, and the like purposefully release a game that is unfinished, claiming it will be patched later. Patches are now used as an excuse to release a game before it should, rather than fixing a minor oversight. With investors, earnings reports, and all the business shit, I understand why these games have to come out when they do and why it's so hard to get them pushed back. But that is the reason why I don't trust these companies to release a quality product, at least on day one. There are cases where buying a game early can be a good investment, but it never involves a large publisher. Say a game is published and developed by the same small team. They work on a single game at a time. Everything they've made in the past is of high quality and is in no way rushed. That is a company that I would have faith in making a good and finished game, so pre-ordering from a company like that is not a bad thing. Even better than pre-ordering though, small developers will often make a game early access. This allows customers to buy the game early at a discounted rate and play it. The game won't be finished, but you didn't pay for a finished game. When the full release comes out, you don't have to pay full price because you already bought it. Early access can be a great thing because the consumer can get a feel for what the game will be like without paying full price. The developer gets money early to help fund the project, and it provides the developer with a bigger sample size for playtesting, further helping them refine the product. You will not see AAA publishers release anything in early access because it's far too risky for games of that size of budget. The closest thing you'll see one of these publishers do is a limited beta test that allows players to experience small parts of the game, normally to test multiplayer server capabilities, and these are only available for a few days. As I mentioned before, I don't blame these companies for their manipulative methods in how they market games. They do it because it works. I blame the consumer because we are the ones that set the precedent. The data shows we will buy things based off an epic cinematic trailer and limited gameplay showcases rather than the final product. We buy things based off feelings rather than thought. These companies will continue to move forward with their predatory nature as long as we stay stupid. If we think before we buy, if we understand we're not gaining anything from buying early, if we wait to see if a game is even finished before we buy, we can change the historical data. We can force a new precedent of quality over hype. If we can do that, not only will it change the way these companies view us, it will make them change their methods. They will see that the consumer does not have blind faith in the project, that the consumer cares about the end product. If we can change, it will stop the predatory methods these companies use, and it will improve the quality of the art form as a whole. Stop pre-ordering games. Peace.